All right, what's up? So I've been getting a ton of questions about Resto Shaman in season three, with raid specifically, and that's because I'm recommending a Farseer build. So number one, that's never been played before, and then on top of that, it's a very haste heavy build with the talent Whispering Waves, and very few people have ever like touched this talent before, have no idea why everything changed. They looked at the patch notes and they're like, hey, Resto Shaman had a single line, why the hell are we changing everything? So it's just easier to make a video talking about it, and I'll also briefly talk about the build and like kind of how to play it for anyone that might be switching. I think this build is probably one of, if not the best healers in a raid. Maybe not the best overall healer because it's not going to do a ton of damage or anything, but Shaman's tanky. This build is very simple to play. Um, it does not use mana like Totemic did. Has really strong cooldowns. So it kind of has everything that you would want. And it also should be doing like very, very high healing. Um, so how did we kind of get here? Uh, so there have been bugs that have existed either since the talent. So Whispering Waves was introduced in place of Primordial Wave in season two, and since was introduced, it has had this bug where it did not feed Cloudburst Totem or Ascendance. And then this one dates all the way back to beta. The Ancestors healing that they did not feed into Cloudburst Totem or Ascendance. Both of those were just randomly hotfixed on the PTR like a month ago. These are substantial buffs to Farseer. That makes your cooldowns significantly stronger, and it means you can store a ton more healing inside a Cloudburst Totem, which means you actually are going to get very large Cloudbursts that like you'll be able to actually see the impact of them on your raid frames, whereas before it was kind of just whatever. So these two changes alone were substantial buffs to Farseer, and then on top of that, the season two set bonus, the one where you got like the insurance healing and stuff, that sucked for Farseer. Farseer is a spec that does not want to press Healing Rain. That's the Totemic is the Healing Rain one. So the more times you have to press Healing Rain for Farseer, the worse it is. And so getting rid of that bad set bonus and then getting this really good one that summons an additional ancestor that's stronger and then also gives us a little healing amp is really, really good. So again, we got rid of some of these bugs that were really detrimental for the spec, and then also are equipping a very good set bonus. Both of those things have like pushed this build like really, really high up in terms of the amount of healing that it can do. And I'll talk about like how it plays in a little bit, but it doesn't have the same detriments that Totemic does, so you don't have to worry about mana at all. It's like basically impossible to playing Farseer, and it still does very, very solid healing. So what does the build do? The idea is you're utilizing this talent, this capstone talent, Whispering Waves. Basically, every single time you press Healing Wave, anyone that has Riptide will get a portion of that healing. It's very similar to Glimmer Holy Paladin back in like BFA, except instead of having your Holy Shock or Glimmer or whatever on 20 people, you're looking at probably like 10 to 12 people that are going to have Riptide on them. And you just press Healing Wave as many times as you possibly can. And that's it. So if you look at the rotation section, this is a cooldown. Cloudburst Totem is like a cooldown. And then this is just refreshing a buff. It's literally pressing Riptide and pressing Healing Wave as many times as you possibly can. And that's it. That does all the healing. So all of this healing, like I said, will now go into Ascendance and Cloudburst Totem, which is substantial. And that's kind of how you're doing your healing, is you spread Riptide around to 10 to 12 different people, and then you are just spamming Healing Wave. Whenever you spam Healing Wave, you are proccing Ancestors from Undulation. So every 3 Healing Wave casts, you proc an Ancestor, and then that Ancestor is also doing Whispering Waves healing and also healing. And then whenever you proc an Ancestor, you also gain, or you get Riptide cooldown reduction. So it's kind of a feedback loop where the more Healing Waves you cast, the more Ancestors you get, and the more Ancestors you get, the more Riptides you're going to be able to get out. So you have more Riptide coverage, which means pressing Healing Wave is now better. So yeah, the more spells you cast, the better this becomes. And the reason why this didn't really take off in Season 2, like I said, is you had to press Healing Rain every 10 seconds. This build doesn't press Healing Rain or Chain Heal or Healing Surge. It's literally 2 buttons. It's just Riptide and Healing Wave as many times as you can. So you talent Healing Rain because you want to take Deluge behind it, but you never press it. You can literally unbind it. And that's the entire build. And then you obviously want to press Ancestral Swiftness on cooldown because of the tier bonus, which I guess I'll quickly talk about. So a lot of people wonder, like, when do you swap into the new tier bonus? When do I like swap to playing this build? This build is functional, even wearing the old set bonus, even if you don't want to press Healing Rain. The old set bonus really wasn't that good, so not pressing Healing Rain and instead just playing how you would with the new set bonus instead is fine. It's not as good as just playing Totemic. But as soon as you get this new set bonus, then Farseer should be better. So that I would recommend just like staying Totemic. Once you get the new set bonus, swap over to Farseer. What do you need to swap? So this build is not good when you have the Totemic stats, where you have like very low haste. This build is going to not feel good at all. This build really, really wants high haste levels. So as much haste as you can get. Again, that's why like this next week, when it's like the heroic week or whatever, I would really try and aim to get a bunch of like haste jewelry and stuff to kind of bump that haste level up, so that whenever you do make the swap and you get your 2-piece and you make the swap over, it's not going to feel as bad. And then again, just continue working towards getting more and more haste. More haste means more healing waves, and like I said earlier, there's like that feedback loop of summoning ancestors, giving you Riptide cooldown reduction, etc. So that's it. That's the entire build. Is you are literally just pressing Riptide and Healing Wave over and over and over again. Couple of things, I guess, that just like popped in the top of my head. Number one is Earth Shield and Deluge, which is this talent here. They both work with Whispering Waves. So ideally, you do actually want to like press Healing Wave into your Earth Shield target. Practically, like whenever you're in a progression setting, that's probably not always going to be true. But I would say you just aim for the lowest health person that has Riptide on them, so that you at least benefit from Deluge. If the person that has Earth Shield also is missing health, then fantastic. But you're not going to try and like swap your Earth Shield around a bunch of different times. That's not worth it. So again, and I wouldn't really worry about like if your Earth Shield falls off and you are like in the middle of like doing a bunch of healing, that's not like a priority button. I put it in the rotation thing here. Is the key thing is you never ever want to get to 3 of 3 charges of Riptide. So it's kind of like your filler button. I have 0 charges of Riptide left. I can go ahead and safely refresh Earth Shield without doing anything. During cooldowns, you do want to heal your Earth Shield target, because Ascendance is split healing among everyone within 40 yards anyway, so it doesn't really matter if you overheal a little bit on that one target. Doing more healing just means Ascendance is going to do more. So whenever you're in your cooldowns, you do actually want to make sure your Earth Shield target has Riptide on them and you are just healing them. Otherwise, I would say that try to just Riptide, or try to heal targets with Riptide, and it just think of it like an extra bonus if they happen to also have Earth Shield on them. As far as like 2-minute or 3-minute Ascendance, both of them are totally fine. 3-minute looks like it actually could be pretty good on a couple of fights, and like that is the preferred option because of deeply rooted elements. If you play 2-minute Ascendance, that's also totally fine. I would just pick the one that like fits your guild's cooldown timers a little bit better. So I think that's it. Like the build is very simple, like I said. It really just comes down to like positioning. Like someone that positions well is going to be able to cast Healing Wave more often, and that is literally the entire build. But yeah, if you have questions or whatever, let me know. I'm active in the Resto Shaman Discord. I do think this probably will be played in the Race World first. Um, but I'm eager to see how it shapes out. In the future, if Whispering Waves does get nerfed down to 10%, this should be playable still. If it's lower than 10%, that's when I would probably start to question, like, maybe you look at a different build instead. But yeah, for now, stack haste, have fun with your short cast times, and hope you guys have fun in Season 3. I'm not going to be playing. I am taking Season 3 off, but because so much shifted for Resto Shaman all at once, I figured it'd be easier to just make a quick video. So, anyway, peace.